Hello and welcome to your own classroom. Today in this lesson we will be learning about Hardy-Weinberg law. This law was proposed in 1908 by G.H. Hardy, a British mathematician, and W. Weinberg, a German physician, independently. It basically talks about a theoretical situation of a non-evolving population that is in genetic equilibrium. Means it takes into consideration a population which is not evolving at all over the generations, and it is said to be in genetic equilibrium. So let's see this in detail. In a large randomly mating population, also called as panmictic population, the genotypic and allelic frequencies will remain constant, means they will be in genetic equilibrium from one generation to the next generation if the following factors do not operate. So we can understand this as the frequencies of occurrence of a particular allele will remain constant and will not change if the following factors do not operate in a randomly mating population. So what is the meaning of a randomly mating population? It is a population in which all the individuals of one sex are equally potential partners of the members of the opposite sex. It is just opposite of the selective mating population or selective breeding. So what are those 5 factors which can alter or which can disturb the Hardy-Weinberg law or Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium? So the first one is gene migration or gene flow. Means individuals from one population are moving to the another population and they are mating there, leading to the alteration of the gene frequency of the existing population. Then there is genetic drift. So genetic drift operates in a small population. Then mutation, we will see this in detail, gene recombination and natural selection. So there are 2 important parameters that we need to consider while talking about Hardy-Weinberg law, and these parameters are genotypic frequency and allelic frequency, means the frequency of occurrence of gene or genotype and frequency of occurrence of alleles. Basically, the genotypic frequencies in a population are determined in a predictable way by the allelic frequencies. Means from the allelic frequencies we can predict the genotypic frequencies. We'll talk about this in detail. If the allelic frequencies in a population with 2 alleles at a locus are P and Q, considering there are 2 alleles and the frequency of these 2 alleles are P and Q, then the expected genotypic frequencies are P square, 2PQ and Q square. So let's see this in detail. If the frequency of occurrence of capital T, suppose we are taking the character as height and we represent this by 2 different contrasting alleles, capital T and small t. So capital T denotes a tall character and small t is a recessive one, which in homozygous condition shows dwarf character. So if the frequency of occurrence of capital T is P, small t is Q, then frequency of occurrence of TT, means genotype TT would be P square, capital T small t would be 2PQ and small t would be Q square. And sum of the allelic frequencies would always be equal to 1, means P plus Q would be 1. And sum of the genotypic frequencies means P square plus 2PQ plus Q square would be 1. And this entire law or the calculations related to the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium are based on these 2 points. This frequency distribution will not change from generation to generation once a population is in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Now let's see one question in order to prove whatever we have said earlier. In a population of 1000 individuals, 360 belongs to genotype capital A, 480 belongs to the genotype capital A, small a, and remaining 160 belongs to genotype small a, small a. Based on this data, find out the allelic frequency of capital A. So it is very clear from this question that it is asking for allelic frequency of A, and it has already given the values of capital A, capital A. So you can find out this by dividing 360 by 1000. So that's the value of capital A, capital A. And as we have seen earlier, capital A, capital A, the frequency of occurrence of capital A would be P square. So let's see its solution. Frequency of A would be P. That's what we are going to find here. And frequency of capital A, that is P square, is already given in the question, and that is 360 by 1000. So 360 by 1000 is 0.36, and P is the root over of 0.36, that is 0.6. So the answer would be C. Let's see the next question. What is the frequency of heterozygotes AA in a randomly mating population in which the frequency of all dominant phenotypes is 0.19? So it's very clear from the question when it is saying all the dominant phenotypes, means we have to also consider the heterozygous condition. Let me show you this with a pen. Suppose we are taking into consideration two alleles, AA, capital A, and now we have to consider capital A, small a as well, because both of these expresses. So frequency of dominant phenotype is given, means 2pq, the value of 2pq plus p square is 0.19. And from here we can find out the value of q square, because q square would be 1 minus p square plus 2pq. Let's see the solution, then you will understand. So here dominant phenotype is p square plus 2pq is equal to 0.19. So applying the Hardy-Weinberg law or equation, we can find out this one. We know that p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. So q square is equal to 1 minus 0.19, and q square would be 0.81. So q would be root over of 0.81, that is 0.9. So from here we can find out p, because we know p plus q is equal to 1. So p is equal to 1 minus q, that will be equal to 0.1. And frequency of heterozygotes, capital A, small a, that is 2pq, would be 2 into 0.1 into 0.9. So that would be 2pq is equal to 0.18. So let's see the next question. Phenylketonuria is an autosomal recessive disorder of man. If the frequency of affected newborn infants is 1 in 14,000, assuming random mating, what is the frequency of heterozygotes? So from this question it is clear that it is talking about a recessive condition, means it has already given frequency of q square is 1 by 14,000. The frequency of q square is 1 by 14,000. So you need to find the q first, then you need to find out the p from that value, and finally the value of 2pq. Although in NEET you won't get these kind of questions because calculators are not allowed, and it's very difficult to find out the root over of 1 by 14,000. So here is the solution. Q square is 1 by 14,000. Then q square with the value of 1 by 14,000 is this much, 0.0000711428, and the square root of this is 0.0085. So from here you can calculate the p. P is 1 minus 0.0085, that is p is equal to 0.9915, and the frequency of heterozygotes would be 2pq, that is 2 into 0.9915 into 0.0085, and that is equal to 0.017. This is just to clear your concept about this topic. Let's see the next question, and I think this is a very good question. In a plant species, the ability to grow in soil contaminated with nickel is determined by a dominant allele. So it is very clear that the dominant allele is resistant to the nickel because it can grow in a soil having nickel. So if 60% of the seeds in a randomly mating population are able to germinate in contaminated soil, what is the frequency of the resistant allele? So if it says that 60% of the seeds in a randomly mating population are able to germinate, means these 60% are definitely the dominant allele, because dominant alleles are the only alleles which are resistant to the nickel. So they can only grow in the soil having nickel. So the frequency of P square plus 2PQ is given, and that is 60%, means 60 by 100, that is equal to 0.6. So from here we can find the frequency of P, and from P we can find the frequency of from here we can find the frequency of Q, and from Q we can find the frequency of P. Let's see the solution. Here the frequency of all dominant phenotypes, P square plus 2PQ is equal to 60%, and that is equal to 0.06 as we have stated earlier. Then applying the Hardy-Weinberg equation, P square plus 2PQ plus Q square, that is equal to 1. Here P square plus 2PQ is 0.6. Then Q square would be 1 minus 0.6, and that is equal to 0.4, and square root of 0.4 would be 0.63. Then now from this value we can calculate the frequency of P, because it is the question is asking for the frequency of the resistant allele, and we know that only dominant allele is resistant in this nickel containing soil. So frequency of P would be P is equal to 1 minus Q, and that is 0.37. Now the question is, among plants that germinate, that proportion are homozygous, means it is asking for the homozygous proportion among the plants which can germinate. So we have seen that frequency of plants that can germinate is 0.6. Now frequency of homozygous plant that can germinate is P square, that is 0.37 whole square, and that is equal to 0.14. So frequency of homozygous plants among plant that can germinate is P square by P square plus 2PQ. So that is equal to 0.14 by 0.6 means 0.23. So that is the proportion of the homozygous plant among those plants which can germinate. So this is all for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll try to elaborate some of the terms related with the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, and we'll try to consider multiple alleles, sex-linked genes, and polyploidy under the umbrella of Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. But this lecture is sufficient for the NEET aspirants. Thank you.